Hi, welcome back, and thanks so much for watching. So, in the past few videos, we've been dealing with these note ties, and in the past three videos, I guess, we had an example where we took a piece of music that was in 4/4 time, and we translated it into 2/4 time. And one of the things I want to tell you, that works really well, and it really does make a lot of sense in terms of where the measures are divided, I guess. But one of the things that kind of makes it make sense, and I want to talk about this for a second. So say we have a piece that's in 4/4 time, and say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Say we have 5 measures. It's a 5. Actually, you know what? Say it's a 4 measure piece. I want to draw all of these. I want. Oh, that's not what I want to do. There we go. Say we've got there, and that's our end bar. So say we've got a piece in 2/4 time, and all of our and it's a 4 measure piece like that. And say, like in the last video, we wanted to translate it into 2/4 time. So I'll write that down right below it. 2/4 time. Well, as we saw in the last video, because we've got, I'll just write in these beats up here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We saw in the last video that the only difference in how we analyze this in 2/4, where we put in our beat markings, is that every time we see a 3 and a 4, well, first off, let's start out by saying this. If we were going to write this down in 2/4 time, all the 1s and 2s, they can just come right down, right? So we can let's just do that right now. And because all the 1s and 2s come down, at least every second bar starts in the same place. So all the bar lines can come down too, right? So let's put a bar line there, and this 1 and this 2 can come down. Put a bar line there, and again, the 1 and the 2 can come down, and put a bar line here. And the 1 and the 2 can come right down. And we can also just bring down our final bar line. So all the bar lines can just come down, along with all the 1s and 2s. Now, what's the difference about what we're going to do in the 2/4 time signature? Well, we just have to divide each measure in half, don't we? So every measure of 4/4, we're just going to divide it in half, right? We're just going to split it right down the middle, like that, aren't we? And then these 3 and 4s are going to come down and become 1 and 2s. So let's put that in now. So we split that. We have a 1 and a 2, so this 3 and a 4 becomes a 1 and a 2. We split this. We have a 1 and a 2. That 3 and 4 becomes a 1 and 2. Then again, bring this down. And we bring this down. So we have taken a piece of music that in 4/4 time was 1, 2. Do that. Okay, fine. We won't clean it up. Actually, you know what? I am going to clean that up real quick. There. Actually, you know what? There. I'm just going to do that and then get my yellow. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this whole pen thing. So anyway, we had, in 4/4 time, we had 1 measure, 2 measures, 3, 4 measures. This piece was 4 measures, and now in 2/4 time, we're just going to double that, aren't we? Because we just split each measure in half. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures. So we've just doubled the number of measures that we have in this piece by saying, you know what, instead of writing this in 4/4, we're going to write it in 2/4. And so when we sang through this, even with the metronome on and kind of giving us a pulse, the piece retained pretty much it didn't only sound, it sounded exactly alike with the pulse, and but also the subdivision of the measures kind of retained the character of the piece, I guess, is one of the ways to put it. It retained the beat groupings pretty well because, each each time a measure, let me do this let me do it in red. Actually, no, let me do it in green. So each time a measure started in 4/4 time, a measure started in 2/4 time. You see? So this translation worked really well to put a piece that was in 4/4 time to go ahead and put that into 2/4. Okay? Now what I want to do is I want to ask you what would happen. Let me do this in red right now. Or actually, yeah, red we'll be able to see pretty well. What would happen is if instead of taking this piece in 4/4, or we could just take this that was in 2/4 because it's the same beats, I guess. What if we said, you know what, we're going to put this into 3/4. Okay? How would the bar lines line up? Or I guess also, would it work? How well would it work? Well, let's think about what 3/4 means. So our beat is going to stay the same because, if you look at it, let me do this in blue, all of the bottom numbers of all of our time signatures, they're all the same. So in each of these examples, the quarter note is going to get the beat. Okay? So quarter note equals quarter note throughout all of these examples. Okay? So now I guess what we're going to try to do down here is we're going to try to see, well, what's our division going to be when we translate one of these examples into 3/4 time? Well, first off, the first bar line can just come right down, and the first beat's going to be the same. So we've got 1, 2, and even the second beat's going to be the same. 1, 2. Okay? But then where is our division going to happen? Well, it's going to happen on beat 3 of this 4/4, isn't it? Or let's kind of draw this like that. It's going to happen like that, right? Beat 3, because we're going to have 3 beats in a measure, okay? So now, let me ask you this. So the next question is, where is the second measure going to start? Or where's beat 1 of this second measure of 3/4 going to fall in 4/4? Is it, or are we going, or else, let me put it this way. And I'll go through the rest of this example, but hopefully you can see it already that when I ask this question, are all of these bar lines? You see how in 2/4, outlined in green, all of the bar lines lined up. So all of the bar lines from 4/4, they just came right down. We could line up bar lines in 4/4 with all the bar lines in 2/4. We just put in twice as many bar lines in 2/4. But we just were able to bring down the original bar lines. Now my question is, are we going to be able to do that when we put it in 3/4 down here? Okay? Well, let's find out. So, well, actually, you know what? We've already kind of answered ourselves because we're not. We're going to be playing this bar line right here, and we've got to divide this into 3 more beats. So we play 1, 2, 3. And where's our next bar line? Well, our next bar line, it'll line up with this bar line in 2/4. But this bar line in 4/4, it's actually going to, it would be coming down right here. It would be coming down, halfway through, I guess a third of the way through this second measure of 3/4. So it's going to be difficult to kind of retain, I guess, the character or retain sort of a very similar beat division when we translate a piece into 3/4, which is going to make it a little bit difficult. And anyway, let me, you know what, I'm kind of running out of time in this video. I'll finish writing in how these divisions occur in the next video, and then we'll do an example where we actually take some music in 4/4 time and we have to put it down 3/4 time. And in order to do that, we'll need to use note ties. So anyway, hope you found this informative, and I'll see you in a future video.